Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Partnership for Profits. I'm Will Brooks, your host for today, and we have a really cool guest today, somebody who's over in South Carolina doing some really interesting stuff in his law firm. We've got Dirk Derrick, who is the founder of the Derrick Law Firm, Injury Lawyers, one of South Carolina's fastest growing PI firms. Dirk's got a revolutionary approach to case preparation that we're going to get into here today. Dirk, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and giving us some time this afternoon.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was reading your bio and I saw in there something that I talked a little bit about this before you came on. You were a coach for a minute. Coaching, you thought you might want to be a college football coach and then kind of shifted into being an attorney. Talk to me a little bit about that where you were, what made you think you wanted to go into coaching and the transition into law?
Well, I was my father was a football coach. So I grew up with it.
Yeah.
And played college ball and then got out, went to the beach a couple of years, wanted a break after college. I thought about law before then. And I decided to go to law school, but my college coach changed schools and contacted me to see if I'd come coach tight ends up at East Tennessee State. And I said, well, I'm looking at going to law school. He said, well, come try it. You got some time. So I went up to East Tennessee State, coached football for a year, went up there just long enough to meet my wife. And then I got in law school and I loved it. I mean, I love coaching football. And I went and met with the coach. He says, and I don't know if he told me this because I was a bad coach or because he cared about me. He said, Dirk, go to law school. He said, when you're a hometown boy, you want to go back to the beach area, you can help the coaches around there, coach high school, middle school, something, but I'd go to law school if I was you. So I went to law school. And
it seems to have worked out pretty well.
It was a good plan B.
Absolutely. So are you still involved with in the game? You still involved with coaching at all or participating in any way?
No, I coached middle school for 10 years for one of my good friends who's the high school coach.
Yeah.
And but that was back when I was trying to keep my law firm small and I was raising two boys and was not trying to grow like we're growing now. So once my youngest son got above middle school and started playing junior varsity and varsity, yeah, I couldn't be coaching on another field somewhere, so I had to quit and go watch him.
I hear you. I understand that completely. My dad was a coach as well, and he did the same thing with me. Like he stopped for a while when it's time to come watch his boys play. So I totally get that. So talk to me a little bit about Derek, about the about competitive mindset, because you said you played college ball. You
played college ball. My daddy was a coach, very, very competitive coach. I have three sisters. We all four played college athletics, and we competed at everything. We're working in tobacco field. I was working in tobacco barn at age 6, and we competed with how many sticks of tobacco we could take off because we got paid per stick. So
right,
everything was a competition.
So how has that mindset kind of shaped the way you built your law firm?
Well, I think my staff would tell you that everything's a competition. I don't understand participating in something just to participate in it. I think you should try to win it. So that's just kind of the mindset. If you don't do it, win it, and be the best you can be.
So you've taken that into the way you built the firm out as well. I agree with you. I think that there's a certain gene that some people have that make them that build in that competitive mindset. I think it's passed down, and I don't think it's something necessarily. I think you can teach it in some sense, but I really think most of us, we have it in us or we don't. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think I probably agree with you. It's almost foreign to how my brain works. Not to want to be the best you can be. And,
right.
That's probably, as you building, I think we're up to 35 lawyers now and 60 staff, but as you build a big team, I just expect everybody to come in with that attitude and have a work ethic behind it. And it's not something that everyone's born with.
Right. It's not for everybody to be competitive and to want to win at everything, for sure. And that's okay too. As long as you know that about yourself and you kind of find the lane that makes sense for you, I think that's totally okay. So I always like to talk about that. I'm always interested to hear that from that perspective of people who kind of have that athletics background and how that's played into their professional life once they're out of athletics. So really like touching.
Yeah, if you find someone who's been a college athlete, usually it's in them, because they don't do everything they have to do as a college athlete if it's not in them. They'll quit the college sport before they finish 4 years or 5 years of competing because of the time restraints on them in college. So I like hiring college athletes.
Do you have a lot of the attorneys in your firm? Were they former athletes?
We do.
Yeah.
We have a baseball player from Coastal Carolina. My son played football at Furman University. We have a football player from Presbyterian College. Now I'll probably miss somebody and they'll get on to me if they listen to the podcast, but
that's okay.
We've had others too, but
yeah,
I like college athletes.
Right on. Okay. So, so let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about something I was reading about you, Dirk, where you've got kind of a very different approach to case preparation. Most lawyers are preparing for court, but you built your own courtrooms, from what I understand. Is that right?
We did. And that comes from being competitive mostly.
So it's like a practice field, right? Kind of the same deal.
Yep. And I was extremely tired of the insurance industry having leverages on me and my client. And I really think this is an industry problem. They say they have computers, they have what they're basing the value of cases on. And you can either take what they offer you, or they can drag out the case, offer you, 30 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar, and just wear your client out. And I call it leverages of time, money, and uncertainty. And there's also the leverage of people who don't, the stigma of filing a lawsuit. They know there's people out there that don't want to file a lawsuit.
Right.
So they play those leverages. And I think as attorneys, I'll speak for myself, you get in this mindset where you're basing the value of your cases. When your client said, is that a good offer? And you've got to tell them that's what they come to you for. And if all you're basing it on is what insurance companies will voluntarily pay people, that has nothing to do with the real value of the case. And so I had done some focus groups on some big cases and got good information on them. And so when I was building an office, I said, I'm going to put a courtroom in there. I'm going to put audio, video equipment, and I'm going to take that cost away from my client. And I'm going to find out whether or not what's the value of these cases. I want to be able to tell my client, hey, we focused it in front of 12 people or 24 people. And he goes, what they say, I think there's something you can look at to determine how somebody in the community would treat your case. So that's what started. It started off, I want to know if I want to take away the leverage of uncertainty.
Right.
And I want to get my client the real value faster. And I think this is a mechanism to do it. So that's why I started it.
That's it's awesome. Are you conducting kind of mock trials in that space? Kind of like
yes.
you got your client, this is their case that they have. Well, let's play it out. Do you have people acting as on the defense side as well when you guys are coming in and doing that? Do you have a jury? You mentioned focus groups. I'm just a little curious about. I don't want you to give away all the trade secrets, but I'm just a little curious about the mechanisms of how that works.
Yeah, there's some people do focus groups and they sit around and talk to people about ideas, and that's not what we do. We get people to sign up for focus groups, and they give us 107 data points when they sign up. They give us their demographics, their life experiences, and their beliefs about almost everything to do with the civil justice system. So they come in, they sign up, give us 107 data points.
Wow.
We've got about 20,000 people that have signed up. We've run about 10,000 through our process, but we will bring them in. We started off just doing them in our courtrooms, and now because we do them both in South Carolina and nationwide for other attorneys, we will send them virtually to whatever county the case is pending. And then we don't tell them which side has hired us. We don't tell them if it's our case, outside lawyer case. we want to present the case hard for the plaintiff and hard for the defense, as hard as we can.
Right.
And on the facts and the arguments that are going to be made. And then we get their individual opinions. And then we divide the live jurors into two juries, and they deliberate and reach verdicts. And then we squeeze them at the end and ask them additional questions. And all of that stuff is recorded and transcribed. And so we get everything we can out of them to tell us about the case, and when we squeeze them, we're finding out, why did you decide the liability that way? Why did you decide the actual damages? What additional evidence didn't you see? And so we got this pile of data with what people want to see and how they want the case shown to them, because, we've always built cases, what we think is important to people. And then we started doing these focus groups. Good Lord, we do not think like ordinary people. We get messed up when we go to law school. So what we found is we don't know how to build a case as a juror wants to see it,
right?
What they want to see and what's important to them, and we miss the value of cases terribly. That's for the first 30 years of practice.
So when did you put this into? When did you put this focus group kind of work? And I know it's not just focus groups. The kind of pre-running your trials. When did you put that into play? How long have you guys been doing that?
We built the first courtroom in 2018.
Okay.
Started in 19. Had to close it down a little bit in 20 for some reason. Everybody closed down for something. And closed it down for about 6 months. And then we cranked it back up and have been going ever since. And it was we're getting such good information. Our office policy is, if the insurance company does not pay us all the money, if it involves punitive damages or permanent injuries, you focus group the case. And so we just made it part of our process.
How's it affected growth for you guys, putting that into play?
It's been good. I mean, I believe everybody who comes to me wants the real value of their case as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. And they want a lawyer to build a relationship with, and they want a lawyer working for them. So I think it helps us create fans with our clients, because we now have 12 or 24 or 200 people have told us about a case, and we can share that with the other side. And we very often share it with everybody involved with the case, mm-hmm. so that we can get the case finalized earlier.
So you share you would share the results of what you guys found with these, the two different juries. Let's say they both come back favorable for you. Are you all able to use that as leverage against the insurance company to say, hey, we tested this and this is what we're finding. Do you really want to go to trial? Is that part of how that works, or am I getting that wrong?
No, you got that right. We'll most often we'll send them the results. We'll send them the deliberations. There's nothing quite as strong as them hearing from a jury who's sitting around a table and they're talking about their defenses. And if they're blasting their defenses on their own without anybody making them say it, I mean, that's powerful stuff.
Right.
And I understand, there's some plaintiffs' lawyers hate insurance companies. I don't hate insurance companies. They have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders.
Right.
I understand it. Why should they pay something that the case is not worth it? So I think of it as an opportunity to show them, and to show them that they may be harming their shareholders if they move forward and don't go ahead and get the case settled.
Do your clients, are they involved in the mock trial situation? Do they come in and participate in that, or are they not a part of that?
Often come in and we do a statement from them.
Okay.
With what their testimony be. Often we will direct examine them and cross-examine them to give focus group members a clear picture of what the plaintiff would say, both on direct and cross. Yeah. We play videos of depositions. We take all our defense and 30B6 depositions and important depositions of the defendant. We videotape all of those. So we play clips of those, the best things they say, the worst things they say, to give them good and bad. And your data, the data out is just going to be as good as data in. When we started doing this at the beginning, we got some kickback, and defense lawyers and insurance companies say, well, we don't know if, these are a bunch of people go to church with you, Dirk, and you're just trying to, feed them. I say, it doesn't do me any good to stack the deck on a focus group and let my client think they got a $2 million case when they don't. That is not what I'm trying to do. The whole purpose of the focus group is to determine the truth in the eyes of the appraisers if this is the evidence that they hear. And, that can change while you're building a case. You can get more evidence here and additional evidence. And we do it at different times. We do some pre-litigation focus groups. Don't usually take those for value unless it's just a punitive damage issue that may just blow up the insurance policy. But we do pre-litigation. We do after we've done discovery, and then we do pre-trial. Now, the pre-trial we don't usually share. We're getting ready for trial at that time.
So you've got that data from, you said it was 19,000 people?
About 20,000 people have signed up. About 10,000 or so have come through the system
as participants in this,
yes.
in the model that you guys have built. So I imagine you guys have got some kind of clearinghouse of just all that data and case examples that you can then use when a new case comes in. Are you able to apply that? Like, okay, well, this is a catastrophic trucking accident that's similar to this one. Let's see what the focus group, are you able to, and I think you mentioned being able to kind of apply that to other firms elsewhere in the country. Are you guys kind of providing that? How does that work?
Well, right now we started off just getting the data for our case.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're getting so much data and all this data on the jurors because we want to be able to use it for jury selection. Because I know now, I can give you kind of summaries of certain people in certain types of cases.
Right.
But we know that in a particular case, we can pull up and say, here goes the 15 data points out of the 107 they gave us that the way they answered these questions drove them to be pro plaintiff or pro defense. Here goes the things that separated the top third and the bottom third. And here goes the statistical significance of those data points. So if I know those, and if I can get that on a live jury coming in at court, if I can find out the answers to those 15 or 17 questions, I've just improved my chances of succeeding. So right now we started off by just getting the data, and then we started collecting so much. We went through Domo and started putting it through machine learning and had a dashboard. And we can go and we can recall all these cases, similar cases, values on injuries,
right?
The liability splits on certain, if there's a trip and fall and it's a code violation, what's the percentage overall that these 400 jurors have put on the plaintiff in that situation? You'd still focus group that individual case, but you'd have that big data behind it to see where you fall on the bell curve. So we have that. We have AI. When AI started coming and ChatGPT, and we could get a secured ChatGPT, we started doing these for outside attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
And we can get that data back in 48 or 72 hours because we have our data part of our focus groups can do reports and give you about a 25-page report on, the average of everything. Wow. All the charts, all the data, the 12 things that they say would help the plaintiff, the 12 things they say would help the defense. Here goes the reason they decided these issues the way. So we can now pull that up in an AI report. That's kind of unbelievable. And we have that now on a short term for the small focus group, or the, not just a small focus group, but the focus group we do in-house and virtual. And we're working on a proprietary warehouse where we are training large language models on our data so that we can talk to all the data the way we're talking to the individual focus group.
Man, that's incredible what you guys are putting into place. I talk to personal injury attorneys all the time. That's who we work with more than anybody else in our business. And then on the podcast, we have a lot of attorneys coming on too. And Dirk, I haven't heard anybody talk about this stuff the way that you're talking about it. That's fascinating. And it sounds like it's making a big difference for, how the cases are turning out and how often you're going to trial probably. Amazing stuff that you guys have going on. Man, that's fascinating, and it's really cool that you guys are trying to leverage technology in a way that's going to be beneficial for your clients.
Yeah. I think that the AI is the game changer. AI, you can collect data, but to be able to get it back at it quickly by just talking to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited. I started going to AI conferences 3 years ago. I thought it was going to be big. I just got back from Cleveland from Macon last week. I think it's a game changer, and I think for the first time from our side of the field, from the plaintiff side of the field, for the public side of the field, we got data as good or better than the insurance industry. I know I got data better than the insurance industry on an individual case.
Right.
And I think we'll end up with data better than the insurance industry.
How are you finding your jurors? Are they all local people? Like you said, 10,000 participants. How does that work?
We do. We always run an ad on social media. We'll continue to have it. Also, when somebody comes in, we'll try to get them to refer people to us.
Okay.
This past year, we started doing it nationwide. So if we do in a Florida focus group, we'll drop in social media ads down there until we get enough people signed up, the number that the attorney wants to hear the case.
So did they participate virtually, or do they come to you guys?
They're virtually.
Okay.
We'll get 12 people locally. And what we'll do, if we got a Florida case, we actually advertise locally for anybody who spent some time in Florida. Try to get some people who were born there or raised there. You know, Myrtle Beach, we're kind of a melting pot. We got people from all over the country.
Yeah.
So we'll have some people. We'll try to get some people from that state, but we'll also have people from all over. And
man,
that's what we're doing now. The step moving forward is working with partnerships with attorneys across the country, where they will build a courtroom. And they will host in their offices, but we'll get the jurors to show up there. We will get all the documents, all the AI they need all the forms they need to fill out. We run it through our systems, give them the AI reports back, and have a licensing product that they will actually have all our data. Once we get all our data in AI form,
right,
there will be a product where attorneys throughout the country can share in that and have that knowledge.
So they can pay for a licensing fee basically to have access to it, or would it be?
Yes.
So they wouldn't. It's not necessarily where you guys are getting a cut of whatever the settlement is. It's a licensing fee. That's amazing. Really cool, man. That's like I said, Dirk, I haven't heard any other attorneys talk about this stuff in this way. It's very fascinating what you guys are doing. Shift gears a little bit. Talk to me. You mentioned you got two podcasts, one that's kind of a private podcast and one's for the public. Talk to me a little bit about the podcast and when that started and what that's been like for you and for the firm.
Yeah, we started the Legal Truth podcast, and that's just information to the public, just getting it out. They have questions, anything about personal injury, workers' comp. We'll throw some stuff in there about laws and about legislation and that kind of stuff, just to the public. Then we got one called the Appraisers Podcast that I like. It's a closed podcast just for plaintiffs' lawyers. You go to our website, send us a form, and we'll do some research on you, make sure you're just a plaintiff's attorney and not doing any defense work, and we'll give you approval to get on the website. And that involves people who have done focus groups with us. And that whole podcast is just case studies. When they came in, what kind of offers they had, when they did the focus group, what type of focus group, what did they learn about juries, about that case, and then how do they leverage it? You know, we talk about leverage all the time, and I think there's 3 ways to leverage the truth when you find it. The first way is if the focus group say, I want to see A, B, C, and D, and you didn't present it to them from either side, and it exists, you need to go get A, B, C, and D and come back and focus again, because that's what they want to see for you to find the true value if it's presented right. So that's a leverage towards the attorneys who preparing the case. The next leverage is to your client, to give them to inform them what these people have said about their case.
Right.
And then the third leverage is to the insurance and to the defense, by sharing it with them if you're trying to get the case worked out. And the focus group has told you have presented everything they want to see and hear, then the case is presented in a full way. Then you present it to the opposition and see if you can get the case worked out for fair value.
Can you share with me any particular one really good insight that you guys have gathered from this podcast that might have surprised you?
You're public, right?
Yeah. You don't have to give away anything if you don't want to give it away, but I always like to hear. These stories are great.
I would tell you that an insight from 2018 to 2024, our average case value went up 150%.
Well, there you go.
Our average case value went up 150% by knowing what a jury would do with the case. So
having that data,
that's number one finding. Number two finding in a lawyers don't know how to appraise. I won't say lawyers. I was not appraising my case correctly before I knew. I was living in the insurance matrix and just believing that's what that's what you could get from a case.
Right.
Number two, I was not presenting the evidence that a jury wanted to hear. I was presenting evidence based on the pleadings, but not what jurors want to hear. And number three, I was not presenting the evidence to the jury from the people they need to hear it from. They have told us what they want to hear, and they told us who they believe and who they will want to hear it from. And so those are the three big takeaways from 30,000 feet.
That's amazing, man. I'm still blown away by this model you guys have created. When do you guys have a launch date in mind for when the licensing of all this data and being able to kind of have other firms kind of incorporate this? Do you have a launch date in mind when you're looking at putting that out there for people?
No, we've hired the contractor to build it for us. We hear that we ought to have a working model by the end of December or January.
Okay.
And after we get the working model, we'll validate it.
Right.
And we'll validate it by every night we do a focus group, we'll run those participants through and their data and get predictions on how they're going to respond, what they're going to say they wanted to hear, how they value the case, what kind of jury they'd be, a good or bad juror. And we'll just have to validate it. I mean, before I push it out, it'll be validated in-house.
Awesome. That's exciting stuff, man. It's very exciting what you guys are doing. I know so many lawyers that need to talk to you about what you guys have got going on. Like I said, I haven't heard anybody else kind of describe this model in this way. It's fascinating to me. So I love it. I love what you guys are doing and kind of flipping the script and kind of flipping the seat of power. Because like you said, insurance companies, those guys have got unlimited resources, or at least we think they have unlimited resources. That's how it's portrayed to us. But it's not, flipping that script is amazing. Putting the power back on the right side. I love that, man. And like I said, insurance companies have a responsibility to their shareholders, and they're a business just like everybody else is. I get that, but they also, sometimes they don't want to pay what a case is worth. So, or what someone should be getting rewarded. So, love what you guys are doing. Dirk, real quick before we finish up here, let everybody else out there who's watching or listening know how they can get in touch with you, how they can find you. We do have a lot of attorneys who check out the podcast. So, if they wanted to come on your what is it? The Appraisers, what was the name of it?
Yeah, the Appraisers podcast.
The Appraisers
Those are
podcast.
people who come in and do a focus group with us and then talk about it.
Okay.
So if they wanted to sign up for that, they'd go to DerrickLawFirm.com and you'll see a link on there. I think under resources, the Appraisers podcast, you'd fill out a form, send it to Nicole. She approves people, give them a code or something so they can get in and start listening.
Cool.
If they want to get in touch with me, my email is address is dirk.derrick@derricklawfirm.com or 843-248-7486. They can give me a call. And if they have any questions.
I love it. I love it, man. Like I said, I'm fascinated by what you guys are doing. I can't wait to see the next steps and what's going to happen with this down the road. It sounds like a game changer to me. It obviously has been for you guys already. So kudos to you guys for being forward thinking and leveraging technology in the right way and just doing things different. I love it. We're all about that here. So, Derrick, thank you. Dirk, thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Derrick, and appreciate the conversation. Those of you who are watching the live stream out there, we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching us live. If you're listening to the recorded version or watching the recorded version on YouTube or Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, we appreciate you guys tuning in as well. And we really appreciate the thumbs ups and the likes and the stars and all that good stuff. Really helps us to get the word out about the show to more people and helps people like Dirk here get his word out about what he's doing to more people as well. That's the show for the day. Dirk, thank you again for the time and for giving me this telling your story, man. I got this big smile on my face because I'm like, oh, cool. I love when people are innovating and trying things a new way. So I can't wait to see what you guys do next. Unless you want to tell me before we sign off. I know you kind of mentioned the licensing of what you guys are doing. But I don't know if there's anything else you guys got cooking that you want to mention before we sign off here.
We got to have the product built. I'm excited about building the product, testing the product, and validating what I think it will show.
Amazing.
If you know the data's there, AI just allows you to talk to it so much easier.
Amazing. 100%. 100%. We'll keep up the good fight. Again, Dirk, I appreciate you coming on and giving me some time. And I will be back tomorrow. I think we have some more scheduled for tomorrow with some more episodes of P for P. And until then, we'll see you guys soon, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks again, Dirk.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.